aid organization Gift of the Givers says their teams have been dispatched to the Imizamo Yethu informal settlement in Hout Bay in the Western Cape, where a fire overnight left more than 200 people destitute. The organization and the City of Cape Town's disaster risk management team will be conducting assessments this morning. Now, despite to determine, of course, the extent of the damages. For more on this, we're now joined by Ali Sablay from Gift of the Givers. Ali, a very good morning to you. Not so much, though, from the people of Imizamo Yethu. I mean, it's not the first time that a fire has broken out in that particular area in 2025. Just speak to us about what you are seeing and how the extent of the damages, of course.
Thank you for having me. It's been a busy few hours for the Gift of the Givers team members when our teams have been activated to various fires across the Western Cape district. The biggest one being Imizamo Yethu informal settlement. As you correctly said, around about last year, this time, on the 27th of December, our teams responded to a fire in Imizamo Yethu as well. And during the year, our team has visited the exact scene where the fire has occurred, where a number of structures has burnt out and close to 200 people displaced. Total destructions, emotions are very high. Parents informing us, how the fire spread last night, grabbing whatever they could to evacuate their family members. And it's definitely going to be a bleak, effective new year for these fire victims, as they've lost everything. Some of them are currently in the Eastern Cape as well, and when they come back home, they'll be coming back home to nothing. And our teams are also currently deployed in the Paul district, where within a week a second fire has occurred in the Mbakweni district. Our teams are currently working with officials to determine the exact number of people displaced, and our teams are also on site at a smaller fire in the Faitjeskraal Manenberg area where backyard dwelling structures has caught alight.
Now, Ali, I know, of course, that you work very closely with other teams. Just going back to the fire in Imizamo Yethu, can you talk to us about what are the preliminary findings, if at all, in terms of what caused this particular fire?
Investigations are currently still underway, but speaking to some of the community leaders and fire victims, they are blaming someone who was intoxicated, who left the stove on, who left the candle on, and with the strong winds that exacerbated the fire, a number of structures caught alight. But the investigations are still currently going on. But that was the report backs we got from some of the fire victims, where an intoxicated person must have left something on, coming back and putting on the stove and falling asleep. And that's why a number of structures caught alight. And we can see the amount of destruction, how many people have been left homeless going into the new year.
And I mean, Ali, you mentioned, of course, that, tempers are flaring, emotions are high. This fire coming at the worst possible time. I mean, no time is a good one, but, this is the festive season, and already we know that South Africans are very strained. Can you talk to us, as we wrap up our interview, just about the greatest need on the ground at the moment? I would imagine rebuilding is top priority.
Most definitely. There is a need for infrastructures, but we do know the officials from human settlements are currently underground. But in terms of humanitarian relief, non-perishable food items, blankets, personal hygiene care item packs, baby care packs are the greatest need at the moment. And especially with parents' concern with the back to school coming very, very soon, giving their children uniforms and stationery, etc. But our teams are working on the ground, and we will be taking care of the immediate humanitarian needs. There's a great need for bottled water, as the taps have burnt out completely. So we will be delivering the humanitarian needs in terms of hot meals, clean drinking water, and in the coming few days, extending the humanitarian relief.
And how can the public help? You mentioned another fire also not too far from where you are. It is Boxing Day, known as a day where people go out and help those in need. What would you like the public to do to assist you?
They're most welcome to contact our toll-free number, 0800 786 911. And we do have an emergency drop-off at the Cavendish Square Mall in Cape Town. So those wanting to come in to contribute, we have a team at the mall taking in donations, and our teams will be extending these donations to various other fire sites in the Western Cape. As I have said, there's another second fire currently that has happened within a week at the Mbakweni informal settlement in Paul, and a fire currently in Manenberg as well. And our teams is on standby for any. I must mention, it's been a quiet compared to other years, to other fire seasons, where last year at this time we dealt with 40 fires in 2 weeks. So we do know that community has had that call of taking the extra precaution, but this is a very unfortunate incident that has unfolded at the Imizamo Yethu informal settlement in Hout Bay.
Absolutely. Ali, thank you so much for your time. And of course, good luck to you for those proceedings that you will be managing, or in fact, the helping out those communities. Thank you so much. That is Ali Sablay from Gift of the Givers. Of course, 200 people now displaced and left destitute following that fire in Imizamo Yethu informal settlement.